It's Transformers96 here with another video review. This time we have the Antman Marvel Legends Infinite Series, Antman. So overall here's the movie character from this wave, and it does have a movie Build-A-Figure. The rest in the assortment are shown as Ant-Man, Wasp, Bulldozer, Tiger Shark, Grim Reaper, and Giant Man, and you build Ultron with them. So yeah, I was able to get the entire wave at Toys R Us. Originally when it first came out, it was a bit hard to get some of the characters, especially Bulldozer. Nowadays though, I found them all, multiple times, so I really don't think it'll be too much of an issue to find these guys. They're also at Target too, so you can definitely try to hunt them down. So yeah, so overall, was really excited to get this one. Of course, I was excited for the Ant-Man movie. I did see it and love it, so I was very happy to get this. Going over the actual figure here, just starting right off with him. As you can see, looking very cool. It has a couple of just inaccuracies that are strange, and I don't know why they were chosen like that. First of all, the helmet is really nicely sculpted, looks good. Of course, what everybody's complaining about, and what I'm going to complain about, is the fact that his mouth is showing. Originally, it didn't bother me because I figured in the movie at some point he would have just his mouth showing, but he never did. I've seen the movie 5 times, I've looked for that, and he never has that showing, so it just is inaccurate, and I just don't like that, first of all. And second of all, the orange. I have no idea why he has orange on him. He's got orange on the belt, on the cufflinks right there, and on his eyes. All of those should be red. He doesn't have a single bit of orange on him in the movie. I've seen the costume too at Disneyland, and it did not, no orange, nothing like that, so I really hate the orange as well as the open mouth. Those are two things that are completely inaccurate and quite annoying. So now let's get into the positives. As you can see, I like the paint other than the orange. I like the paint colors. The dark red looks really quite nice, and it is kind of dry brush with kind of a black or a dark gray or something, gives it kind of a dirty look. The silver looks really nice as well, and is also kind of dry brushed with a black, which gives it a realistic look and not just completely shiny and brand new, which I like a lot. Overall sculpting is quite nice. He is lacking a couple paint details, like when you compare him to the Select one, which I will, he's missing a lot of paint. Here's the Select one. You can see just in the legs, obviously all these little platings that he has should be outlined in silver, as well as like this T area should be red. He's got all the sculpting there. He's got all the little panels sculpted and everything. It's just not painted, and which is something that didn't bother me when I originally just had this. But as soon as I got this, I looked at this one and went, this one sucks now, because this one just looks so much better. So yeah, so I really wish that they would have done better with the paint work. But where it does have paint, the paint is quite nice as long as it's not orange. Overall, going over the articulation, of course, it is Marvel Legends, so it's very good. Head looks up a fair amount. It does get blocked by this kind of little hose patterning on the back, though. He looks down really well. Obviously, side to side ball hinge head. He's got ball hinge shoulders with bicep swivel, double hinge elbows, hinge swivel wrist, which is really nice. He's got an ab crunch as well as a swivel waist, ball jointed hips that go up quite far. You've got swivel thighs, double hinge knees, and hinge pivoting ankles, which is also quite nice. So very standard articulation for Marvel Legends, but their standard articulation is great, so definitely nothing to complain about there. He does have these kind of hands, which I think is, I like them. I definitely like the expression in them. I just wish that he also came with other options, but he does come with a decent amount of accessories, so it's hard to complain about that. But it would have been nice to see either another head or some different hands, like fists or relaxed palms or something. First of all, on his accessories, he comes with Antony. Really liked Antony in the movie. This is just an ant, so maybe it's not actually him, but same thing. So overall, looking quite nice. It's painted well, sculpted really nicely, actually. Lots of good detail, especially in the wings there and everything. And he comes with that Ant-Man to kind of ride him. That Ant-Man has a little bit of red and silver in him, which looks really cool. The only problem I have with that Ant-Man is he doesn't stand up, because he's in like a sitting position. When you have him not on the ant, you can't get him to stand, which is unfortunate, especially since I have like a bunch of different Ant-Man scales, so it's really cool to pose them all standing, next to each other, smallest to largest, but because that one doesn't stand well, I've got to figure out a way to prop him up or something, because it's quite annoying that he doesn't stand. But surprisingly, and I didn't expect this to be the case, this yellow jacket does stand, even in its kind of pose that it's in, so I think that that's pretty cool. There we go. You can get a good look at it. Very nice. Got some yellow in it. It has the silver on the arms there. Looking very cool. Silver on the faceplate as well. Nicely sculpted and painted and in a kind of cool pose, as well as it can stand, which is awesome. Wasn't expecting that, so very happy that he does stand. Little comparison here. I did compare him a little bit to the Select one already, but just to add him in, you can kind of see the size there, and then throw in the 3 3/4 inch one. Overall, they all look really cool together. 3 3/4 inch one looks really plain compared to them, but on his own, he's actually pretty decent. But overall, I do like this Marvel Legends one. If you're trying to decide what to buy, Universe Legends or Select, when it comes to this Ant-Man figure, I would probably say Select, just because the paint is so much better and articulation is still quite good, as well as it has an accurate helmet. But if you're all about articulation, obviously go with the Marvel Legends, because although the Select one isn't too much behind him, he is behind him. The Marvel Legends one does have better articulation, but not by too much, I must say, surprisingly, so that's pretty neat. And yeah, they all look great, though. That's another thing. I'm glad that you reminded me, Ant-Man. I almost forgot to say something about that. Yeah, he has some trouble standing up naturally. I mean, you can obviously get him in a stance where he will stand up, but just because I think that this leg is just kind of bent out a bit more. I'm not quite sure what it is, but he does kind of have the tendency to either stand kind of awkwardly, where like you can see his leg is out a bit there, and it's not quite straight. So that's quite annoying, I have to say. So definitely something to watch out about. It's nothing like massive, but it is something that can be a bit of a problem. But once you get him in a good position, or especially if he's leaning on anything whatsoever, he'll be completely fine. So overall, he's a really nice figure. I'm very happy with this one, and would highly recommend it to any fan of Ant-Man, and of course anybody who's trying to complete Ultron. This is a nice addition to your collection, even if you're forced to buy him to get the Ultron head. But overall, looking quite good, and a really nice figure.